like my parents were entrepreneurs. So for me, it was like, okay, they were coming from Ghana. They don't speak the language. So if they can do it, then I have no excuse. That was my mindset in starting a business, because they have it far, their chances are far less than.
Okay, you are watching Okrobia Media. Today I welcome you specially. You know what? Today we got a very beautiful sister who is here to share with us her dreams and what she is capable of. So I don't want to waste much of your time. Just relax and listen to what she has for us. So help me to welcome our sister. All right. I welcome you to Okrobia Media.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
It's been a long time, eh?
Yes, it's been a long time.
Always I'll be disturbing you, but I think you don't have time for us. But now, today, by God's grace, here we are.
Indeed.
All right. I just want you to introduce yourself to our viewers and let them know who you are.
Okay. So my name is Wendy Agyin. I'm also a business coach for diverse female entrepreneurs. So I help them starting their business plan, financial plan. And I also have my own business, Gold Butter, whereby I make organic hair products. I'm someone that I like to enjoy life. So I like to do things that I'm passionate about. Anything that I do, if I'm not passionate about it, I'm not interested in it. So that's already something that I am. I'm also someone that likes doing stuff that creates impact. So you'll see in anything that I do, if there's purpose and meaning to it, I enjoy it. If it doesn't, it feels like a waste of my time.
That's great.
We're with 6 kids.
6?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my parents, so that's 8.
So 6 kids, how many girls, how many boys?
4 girls, 2 boys.
4 girls, 2 boys. And you are
the oldest.
The big sister.
Yes, I'm the big sister.
The whole family.
Well, I was born in Antwerp, so just here in Belgium. So I've been born and raised in Antwerp, and I'm still in Antwerp. So place that they took me to crash. I know there was a time that I used to stay in Arendonk. So that's a bit further away. That's not in Antwerp, and I would stay there during the week, and then I would come home on the weekends. So yeah.
So you're in a boarding house, like something like that.
Something like that for small.
So that place you were there till what time? You were
like until I was 6.
Till you were 6.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the 6. That means you are in. Is it Easter Lily year or something?
Yeah. When I came to Easter Lily year, then I went into school further in Antwerp.
And where did you go to school in Antwerp?
They call it now Speelvogel.
Which school again?
Anuncia. So that's in Weinigem. So that's where I went to my secondary school. And so then later on, I went to Thomas More College, whereby I did business and entrepreneurship, and that was in Hill. So that's again further away from Antwerp.
Further from here. Yeah. It took you how long?
The business and entrepreneurship, that took like 2.5 years. 2.5 years.
Yeah. Okay. Is a university level or?
That's a bachelor, so that's college. That's university college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I graduated last year. Yeah, last year in January. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And then, are you working on the same course that you did in school?
Yeah.
And how is it going?
It's going really well. It's going really well. I'm learning a lot. I have a lot of it was a new project in that company, then I had to build out that project. So it's been pretty exciting.
What you are doing, or the course you did, was that the actual course you wanted to do when you were young?
No. Well, when I was young, when I was like 8, I wanted to be a doctor, but later on, going to secondary and stuff, I didn't want to be a doctor. So, but the job that I'm doing now, let's say when I was young, I didn't know of the fact that it existed.
Okay, what scared you to do the doctorate?
No, nothing scared me. I just wasn't interested in being a doctor. It wasn't my field of interest.
That you explain to us the course you're talking about, business and entrepreneurship. If we say that, how do you explain?
It's learning different business skills. So, learning how to start a business. So it's very practical also because you have different projects whereby you could already start working on your business and learn from experts, but also learn about the financial sides, the different languages. So also, if you want to be a manager in a company, then you also can learn about like how that is. But it's very, let's say, broad, so that you can know all the different aspects in a business.
So now, if somebody also want to start a business and it needs your help, what would be the first step?
Well, you have to sign in to the company I work for, the organization I work for, because it's a non-profit. And then we have like an introduction meeting. And so in the introduction meeting, we figure out, okay, what do you want to do? Have you already been doing? Are there any difficulties you're having? What are you struggling with? It's very important to be open and transparent, because this way we can address what the issues you're having, so that we could, start your business. Or maybe if you're having an idea and you say, I don't know how to start it, then I'll help you further with, creating structures so that you know the next steps. Challenges. I mean, of course, every job has its challenges, but I think because I work with human beings, so it's understanding human beings and how they interact, but also the problems that they may have. Because, if you have internal struggles, it's more difficult to focus on your business. So I think those things are a bit more challenging then. And also time managing, because, it's a lot of people that I have to coach. So, you have to figure out, you have to be able to get the time to do everything that you need to do for your job.
Okay. Most people complain that here, especially in Belgium, if they go to school and then they wanted to be, let's say, an accountant, they want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer. Along the line, the teachers or the school authority changes their courses they want to do. Did you face something like that? Or have you heard it?
I've heard it. The thing with that is, if, let's say, I've heard it because I've seen it happening to people. With me, most of the time, it didn't happen, because if your grades are good enough, they cannot use anything against you. So basically, if you just make sure that your grades are good, they cannot say anything, because your grades speak for itself. But like, let's say when I was in 5th grade, my grades were less, and then a teacher tried it, but then I had to repeat my school, and I just continued doing like economics and maths, even though the teacher was like, oh, maybe you should change. I'm like, at this point, I've been going to school all this time. It's not these last 2 years that I'm going to change course. Yes. But that was because my grades were bad. But I've seen it happening. And it is like, you could see that there's a lot of bias and disadvantages. But in my case, it was mostly that my grades were good enough, so they cannot do that. Okay.
And then since you started this business helping people, have you come in contact with any Ghanaian that need your assistance?
Yeah, there was actually even a woman that lives in Ghana, and I think it was through her boss she figured us out, and then I coached her for starting her organization, and she was even living in Ghana itself. So it has definitely
She's
happened.
in Ghana, and then through online, got to know you, and you tried to coach her.
Yeah.
What about the people living here in Belgium?
Let me see. I coach a lot of women, so I have to. I coach 60 women in a year. There is a Ghanaian in there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not plenty or something, but there's probably.
Last time we come back to this one, but this one, let me chip in with this one. I saw you on the news, I think. Is it VTM also?
It was VRT.
Okay. What was that about?
That was about my business Gold Butter. So I do it with my co-founder. So she's a chemist, and together we make hair products for women with afro and curly hair. So then they wrote an article about us because we are creating that product. We haven't launched yet, but we're in the process. Like, we're creating it, we're testing it, everything. It's for afro and curly hair.
Afro and curly.
So that's afro and curly hair is not based on your skin.
Okay, yes.
But it's not for straight hair or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. It was mostly because I always used to relax my hair. And then one day my hair, it got burnt at the backside, and then I thought relaxing is nonsense. I'm never going to do it again. And so then I started figuring out like my natural hair, understanding what products to use and everything about that. And so along the way, I also gave like a YouTube channel whereby I taught women like, okay, how to take care of their natural hair and hairstyles. And so along the way, I was like, okay, I want to figure out what products, can I also make in the natural hair community, because they advert so many products and it's a bit overwhelming to need so many products. So I just wanted it to be simple, because everybody always say, oh, natural hair is difficult. And I personally feel it's easy. It's not as easy as straight hair, but I think it's easy. So then I wanted a product so that people don't have to use a lot of product and just that one simple product. So that's how I came up with gold butter.
So when is it coming out?
It will come out this year.
The important part of me coming here is when I heard or when I saw what is going on now around you, I felt very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because most people that have been giving birth to them here, they find difficult to go on to achieve their aim in life. Understand me? So I just want to tell us, how did you make it?
Well, it's a loaded question, because that doesn't mean that life wasn't difficult or things weren't challenging. But I think growing up, like my parents were entrepreneurs. So for me, it was like, okay, they were coming from Ghana. They don't speak the language. So if they can do it, then I have no excuse. That was my mindset in starting a business, because their chances are far less than me that was born here and went to school and that knows the system more. So I'm like, if they can do it, then I must do it better. So that was my mindset going into it. So I guess that helps, their example. But also like growing up in church, they always told us that, for me, I've always been told that I can do anything I want to be. So I never believed that I cannot do something. So I guess having a surrounding that believes in you and that is also ambitious helps, because I know other people whereby there's nobody telling them they can do something. The parents will not tell them. They will say I knew people later on that went to school, they finished 6th class and the parents say, okay, now it's time to work.
Yeah.
Or parents sometimes make it difficult for people to go to school, because some of them, when some children, they have student job, all of a sudden, all the money from the student job, they have to come and give it to you. Or you make them do way too much, whereby they're so stressed out, they cannot, somebody else is living in their house, right? And their parents are taking care of them, which gives them the headspace to study. Meanwhile, in some other house, every day is turbulence. You have to help with this. You have to work to chip in. So a lot of the struggles, then they say, oh, you didn't pass in school. But if you are adding so much onto that child and you compare them to another child that doesn't have all those things, who's gonna go like this quicker?
Yeah.
So I think those things also are some of the reasons why so many people in the youth are not doing so well, because also if your parents didn't go to school, it makes it also, like some other people, their parents went to school and they sit with them and they be like, oh, you didn't do this well, let me teach you. If your parents cannot do that, you're already in a type of disadvantage. So I think these are important discussions also, like, okay, how can you create a healthy environment for your child to thrive? Because they're already struggling, they're already different. And if you're going to add all your struggles upon them, and then you are surprised that they're not thriving, it's not a shocker.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell our parents that the necessary help they have to give to their children.
Yeah. I think, create a good environment, as in make sure that they're surrounded by people that also are in school or that thinks of positive things. Because if they're surrounded by everybody that thinks, oh, I don't have to do anything and oh, we just do this simple job, that's going to be their mindset. But I also think, try more to learn things about the language, or also let children enjoy themselves, because I feel sometimes in African households we let our children struggle too much, and then you need to know they are with other students in the class that don't struggle as much, but you want them to have the same results. Meanwhile, it's not the same. They are already not on an even playing field. They don't have the network that maybe other children that were born here have. So if you want to limit the gap, then we also have to create healthy environments for our children, not always give them also stress indoors, because then you shouldn't be that surprised, because that stress is also not helping them to further their education. So I think those things are important. And if your child is struggling, instead of just you are angry, right? Say, oh, okay, how come? Because failure is not a bad thing. Okay, I failed my 5th class. That wasn't a good thing, but I learned from it. So you could, have a conversation with them and be like, okay, how come that you didn't pass this time? Okay, what type of help would you need? So that your child also, when they fail, they don't think of quitting. They say, oh, I'm looking for a solution, so that at least when I failed, I know I can get out of it. And I think those are important skills. But if it's always shaming, you are being angry and all that, that makes it difficult for a person when they are having hardship in life to continue, because they have learned to be ashamed. So they don't even have anybody to talk to when they are going through those struggles. So I think those things are important.
Okay. The children themselves, what advice will you give it to them? They should say to themselves that they can do it, no matter what.
Yeah, I think know that in life, not everything is gonna happen the way you want it to. So be prepared for that, right? Even though somebody else, they have more, let's say, they have more opportunities than you sitting there and be like, oh, but this person is white and their parents is this, it's not going to help you. Like, like it's not gonna make you go further. So accept your reality. But also, when something is hard, don't be afraid to ask for help. There are actually different places you can go to and ask for help. Very often in school, you could still ask for help. Ask other people, don't isolate yourself when you're going through hard times. Because when you stop isolating yourself and you find people that you can trust, then you can get yourself out of it so that you can also come out successfully. And that your story is not like, oh, I had a hard time, so I had to stop. There's a lot of people that had a hard time and they continued. And I think that's the difference.
Need help from you. Where the person should go?
You can contact me on Instagram. I think that's easier than my Facebook. You'll not get me that fast. My Instagram is Wendy Candy Trendy. I also have an email, wendy@goldbutter.be. And you can contact me for advice over there. Just, whether it's because there's also different girls that have come to me now and they want to do internship with me and they look like me and they're like, oh, I see that you're a manager and we want to follow your process. And I'm like very happy to see that, because I didn't have that growing up. And I knew like, they're like, oh, okay, this girl, she's black and oh, she's doing this. I want to learn from her. And it's nice to see that. So you can always contact me. I'm always open to that. All I want to say is, just be true to yourself and, try to understand what you want and look at the steps you have to take, and step by step, keep encouraging yourself and believe in God also to help you through that process.
Very deep, very deep. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate this interview and I love it so much. And I hope the youth out there, they will take serious. Even anyone that needs help, please don't hesitate to let her know. And I'm going to link up her links on my description box. Anybody that needs her, please just contact her, and then I'm sure she will help you.
Yeah.
God bless you for this.